this year, and tonight they hope to end this one at 5, taking on the Boston Red Sox. And the losing streak and the poor play since the All-Star break has dropped the Twins now 10.5 games back in the American League Central. While the Red Sox have emerged as the team to beat, not just out of the American League East, but very likely out of the American League itself. Beautiful night for baseball here at Target Field. Dick Bramer, Bert Blyleven with you for Game 2 of this series. And amidst all the difficulty that the Twins have experienced over the last couple of weeks, they have one of the hottest hitters in the league in Jason Kubel.
I tell you what, there's a couple guys. Michael Kadire swinging a good bat, but this guy has been outstanding. And the 5 RBIs, those have really been big RBIs. In yesterday's ball game against Tim Wakefield, watch this pitch right here. That's a knuckleball down in the strike zone. He got a big RBI single that gave the Twins a lead. And then later, his second at-bat, another knuckleball left up a little bit. And what does Kubel do? A high fly home run, his 9th of the year. And then with the game on the line, Twins needed to tie the ball game. It was Jason Kubel with 2 outs scoring the tying run, even though the Twins lost. Jason Kubel had some very good at-bats.
And the Twins scored 6 runs, which should be enough to win on most nights, but not when you're playing the Red Sox. Look at where they are offensively. Top batting average in the league. They're on a pace to score just under 900 runs. And then you throw in the fact that they've gotten some big hits late in games, and that's why they're the team to beat.
And that's what makes a winning ball club right there. You win late in the ball game. On Tuesday night against the Indians, it was Jacoby Ellsbury with the game-winning hit. And then the next night, it was that guy Ellsbury again hitting a home run straightaway center for a win for the Boston Red Sox. And then against those darn Yankees, it was Josh Reddick that got that base hit down the line, and that gave the Boston Red Sox the win to end that, get that win. David Ortiz running, and then there's David Ortiz not running but swinging a hot bat. He got the game-winning RBI in the 9th inning when the Boston Red Sox scored a couple runs.
Most of those wins, dramatic wins coming at home. They're also tough on the road. Francisco Liriano will try to disrupt their momentum when we come back. Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards.
Tony O's Cuban sandwiches on the grill. Fans ready to have a good time here in downtown Minneapolis. Twins and Red Sox first pitch in just a moment here on Fox Sports North. I'm Robbie Itzmakowski. Twin starters have been struggling, and tonight they need a big start from Francisco Liriano, and he's capable of doing it. And they'll need that because look at the numbers. The last 15 starts for the Twins, just 2 victories in those last 15 starts, an ERA of almost 7.5, an opponent batting average. That's not good. Opponents batting .361. And most importantly, the bullpen has been taxed as innings per start at 5 2/3, something that started to show last night with a tired bullpen. So, what will Francisco Liriano do tonight? You're going to find out when we come back, because it's Dick Bramer and Bert Blyleven. First pitch coming your way right now on Fox Sports North.
Twins have the longest losing streak in the American League. They hope to end it tonight. Joe Mauer and the Twins taking the field. Hope to end it against the hottest team in the American League. Taking on Dustin Pedroia and Terry Francona and the Red Sox. With his Menards batting order, game 2. And the next to last game between these two teams during the season. Jacoby Ellsbury, Dustin Pedroia, Adrian Gonzalez, Kevin Youkilis, David Ortiz, Jed Lowry, Carl Crawford, Jason Varitek, and Darnell McDonald.
And Francisco Liriano on the mound tonight for the Twins, making his 21st start, his first this season against the Boston Red Sox. The last starter to win a ball game was Francisco Liriano. You go back 10 games ago, back in Oakland. But since that time, the Twins have really struggled, especially the starting staff. For Liriano, his 5th career start against Boston, he's 1-3 with a very high earned run average.
Ellsbury, Pedroia, and Gonzalez to face Francisco Liriano. Down and away, ball 1.
Big thing for Liriano is trust your stuff, relax, take a deep breath. That's what Rick Anderson wants him to do, and attack the strike zone. Trust your stuff.
Popped up.
Maybe they'll do that.
Near second base, Nishioka. One down. Take a look at the Northland fourth defense. For the Minnesota Twins, Delman Young at left, Ben Revere at center, Jason Kubel at right, Valencia at third. Nishioka back in the lineup. Had his first baby yesterday. Michael Kanier, Joe Mauer on the right side. Drew Butera behind the plate.
Yeah, congratulations to Nishioka and his wife.
I asked him today as best I could, pass out cigars, and he nodded yes. I gave the international sign for cigar, which could have been misinterpreted by people who only know English, but I got an affirmative, so I'm assuming he bought a box of cigars and passed it around the clubhouse.
I called him. I saw him and asked him how his wife was doing, how the baby, and they're going to stay in the hospital a couple more days, so glad that everything's fine.
1-1. And Pedroia takes down and away 2-1. I beg your pardon. They appeal, and it's called a strike. 1-2.
Yeah, Ted Barrett saying it was a strike, but the pitch looked like a pretty good pitch. Tim McClellan, the crew chief, behind the plate here tonight.
That was a pretty good pitch, too. Taken for ball 2. Pedroia, .424 against left-handed pitchers.
And 6 for 10 lifetime against Liriano.
Outside 3-2.
Pedroia, a good player in his 6th season with the Red Sox, 27 years old, came up in 2006 a little bit, and then the Rookie of the Year in the American League in 2007 in his first full season.
Flip foul. Hit cleanup yesterday and now hitting second tonight.
This guy's a battler, isn't he? They say to Pedroia, he sleeps, eats, everything baseball. Everything is baseball. He's one of the first to be at the ballpark. Just loves the game. He wants to get better and better. Like a little spark plug.
And he walks. So he'll take first with 1 out in the first inning.
Well, Liriano, that's his 60th walk of the year in 12 innings pitched. 7 wins, 9 losses, high ERA at 5.03. Now 1 complete game. That, of course, the no-hitter against the Chicago White Sox.
58 walks all of last year. So that's been an issue for Liriano. And if you want to point your finger at one thing to result in his ERA jumping up by about 1.5 runs, it would be the walks. Liriano last year pitched 191 2/3 innings. Liner into right field, a base hit. Ellsbury to second. Juggled a little bit by Kubel. First and second, 1 down for Kevin Youkilis.
Adrian Gonzalez continues to hit. Came in hitting .350, best in the American League. 92 RBIs, the most in the American League. Good solid swing, line drive to right field. Boston got 17 hits in last night's ball game. Beat the Twins 8-6. And Kevin Youkilis did not play in last night's ball game. Having a very solid year.
Outside, ball 1. Red Sox have scored 625 runs. And in roughly the same number of games, the Twins have scored 449. That's
about 176 to be exact.
Difference is that you figured that out. This one hit to right field, and Kubel toward the gap makes the catch. Pedroia tags, and he'll go to third.
That's my California math. Very quick.
2 on, 2 out. Ortiz to the plate. Twins baseball brought to you in Sony High Definition. Ortiz, the big hitter of several Boston hitters last night. He had the biggest night with 4 hits, and every one of them factored into scoring.
Yeah, scored 3 runs, drove in 3 runs.
A year ago, through the entire 2010 season, Ortiz hit just .218 against lefties. And this year, he's hit nearly 100 points higher. Up and in, ball one, and Butera will run it back to the mound. So 1-0 to Ortiz. Again, last year hitting .218 against lefties. See how he does here against this lefty. 2-0.
The slider just missing.
I
mentioned, in the opener on my scouting report, Liriano making his 5th career start. He's 1-3 lifetime. His only win came here last year in April. Pitched 7 shutout innings in a Twins 8-0 win against Tim Wakefield. Threw 96 pitches, 64 for strikes. One of his better outings.
2 walks in the inning so far, and they're loaded up for Lowry.
Yeah, 16 pitches, only 6 strikes for Liriano. And this has been a problem for Rick Anderson to watch every time Liriano goes out there. You know, they say his side pieces are outstanding. He hits his spots, and coming into the ball game in the bullpen, Rick Anderson says he's got nasty stuff out there. But then he gets out on this main mound and maybe tightens up a little bit, trying to be too fine.
Missing on the first slider to Lowry, ball one. Well, regardless of which lineup you're pitching against, having a 50-50 split between balls and strikes is going to catch up with you eventually. But against this lineup, 1-0. Check swing and a foul, 1-1. I mean, you can issue free passes.
Too good a hitting ball club. They're hitting .282, the best of all in baseball.
The only hit of the inning, Gonzalez's single.
Lowry getting activated for last night's ball game.
1-1 to Lowry. Bounce to third. Valencia fires to second. And the Red Sox leave the bases full in the first.
Coach wants to do keep them motivated, find the positive.
Menard's batting order for the Twins tonight: Revere, Bauer, and Kadire, Kubel, Tomey, Valencia, Young, Nishioka, Butera.
That's Eric Bedard on the mound for the Boston Red Sox, making just his 2nd start for the Red Sox, and since being traded over from the Seattle Mariners. He defeated the Twins when he was with the Mariners here in Target Field back on May 25th in a 3-0 win. Eric Bedard making his 12th career start against the Twins, 2 wins and 5 losses, and ERA just over 4.
Revere will lead things off, then Mauer and Kadire as the Twins hope to break out on top. Last night, of course, a 5-1 lead, but it didn't last that long, and the Twins ended up losing the ball game. Revere takes outside, ball 1. Revere giving Denard Span a break. Been a very slow restart to the season for Span. Down the middle, a strike. 1-1. Span missed some time because of a concussion. Revere stepped in admirably, did very well, and helped ignite the offense out of the leadoff spot. The Twins hope he'll do that again here tonight.
Now Eric Bedard, fastball, good curveball. There's the curveball right there, just overthrown a little bit.
And there's Span, who'll get a night off. Likely back in the lineup tomorrow. 2-1. Three and 1 at times in his career, even when he's been healthy. Bedard's had some control issues, so Revere trying to make him throw strikes here right off the get-go. And a pitch up high, a 5-pitch walk puts Revere aboard. Northland Ford defense for the Red Sox. Carl Crawford in left, Jacoby Ellsbury in center, Darnell McDonald getting the start in right. Youkilis, Lowry, Pedroia, Gonzalez. With the captain, Jason Varitek, behind the plate.
Yeah, Bedard's second start, his first start for the Red Sox. He ended up pitching against the Indians, pitched 5 innings, no walks in that outing with 5 strikeouts. There's Terry Francona.
Slide step and a pitch low, ball 1.
Well, left-handers actually hitting a little bit better against Bedard than right-handers. Left-handers hitting .245, right-handers hitting just .227.
Two and 0 now to Mauer. Once it became apparent Clay Buchholz's back issue was a serious one. He's got a stress fracture in his lower back. Very likely he won't be able to pitch again this year. The Red Sox went out and they picked up Bedard from the Mariners. 2-0. And a strike.
As a 3-team trade between the Dodgers, the Mariners, and the Boston Red Sox to get Eric Bedard into Boston.
So Bedard, who has had some injury issues of his own so far this year, has been fairly healthy. The Red Sox hope he can fill in for the injured Clay Buchholz. And a breaking pitch up. It's 3-1. So Liriano in the top of the first struggling to throw strikes, and now Bedard in the bottom of the inning.
Yeah, 9 pitches, only 2 strikes for Bedard.
3-1 to Mauer with Kadire on deck. And a strike to fill the count. It's like everybody has to wait for Tim McClellan. Even the catcher Varitek had to wait.
Well, he yells it out down there, but he's so big. I mean, he's about 6'7", that it takes him a little while to get up. But he does yell it out down there. He just makes the sign once he gets back standing up straight.
Full count. See if the Twins send Revere here. He goes, and Mauer grounds it through the hole to left. Revere around second. He'll go to third. So Mauer hit it right where the shortstop, Lowry, was standing. And in sending the runner, the Twins get first and third instead of a likely double play.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that it wasn't Dustin Pedroia that's going to cover the bag right here. Lowry right here, he's the shortstop, and see Pedroia kind of holding his ground, but once Lowry made that move to second base, that created that big hole. And Joe Mauer, Ron Coomer, Joe Mauer, 80% of his hits are that way.
Yeah, I think it was a mistake. Definitely the reason why they went to that coverage is because it was a breaking ball. And for 99.9% of baseball players, you expected to hook that ball. The only thing they forgot is we got one of the best hitters in all of baseball hitting it the other way.
Strike one to Kadire. And of course, last night we showed the replay how similar situation, only with the knuckleballer going. They had the second baseman cover, or the shortstop cover. How was that last night? They had the shortstop cover last night, and Mauer hit the line drive for the base hit. This one to center. And Ellsbury with the catch. Revere will tag and score. And the Twins strike first. Kadire gets a run batted in. And that'll bring up Jason Kubel, who has really been hitting the ball consistently hard, Ron Coomer.
Yeah, he's been incredible all year. He obviously had the foot injury, but that surely didn't slow him down. He's been swinging the bat great. To me, the one thing that he does is he's very consistent with his setup and his approach. Things never change. He gets into the box and he gets set with a good wide stance. But you see his hands and everything, they get locked into a spot right off his shoulder. To me, he has very little movement, and that's why he's able to duplicate this swing. His head doesn't move. Guys, I'm telling you, if you're a little league coach and you want to show a guy that can, or have your kids look at a guy that can really swing the bat, duplicate a swing and hit the ball all fields, this is your guy.
Little bit of an open stance, Ron Coomer, but when the ball is delivered, then he steps toward the pitcher, does he not?
He does, Bert, and what he wants to do, when you start with an open stance or slightly open, the one thing that does for you, it gives you great vision. You pick up the baseball much better. The other thing that you try to do when you go to back to square or even is it's important that you keep your front toe closed. So front toe open would be pointing your front toe at the pitcher. You want it almost to be pointed at, for Jason, at the third base dugout. So you want your front toe to stay closed.
2 strikes to Kubel, with the Twins already on the board once. Mauer at first and 1 out. And just off the plate. Boy, that pitch was a pretty good pitch. An 0-2 pitch, and it just off the plate.
I think we saw it in the top of the inning. I thought Liriano threw a couple pitches that were questionable. And right there, pretty good fastball, good location.
Two and two.
You see right there with Jason, even on a very good breaking pitch behind in the count, he flinched at it, but because he's in such a good position to hit, he get a little flinch, but he doesn't have to get his hands going so early that you end up committing too soon. He's able to just have quality at bat after quality at bat, and we know we've seen that all year.
Off the plate, 3-2. Tomey on deck. And in a similar spot, the Twins sent Revere. We'll see what they do with Mauer at first and 1 out.
One more thing, Ron. I think he looks very comfortable in that batter's box too. Like his, it's balanced. His weight is balanced, and then when the pitch delivers, puts all that weight on that back foot.
Mauer stays put, and Kubel takes a walk.
Yeah, that's just the quality at bat. And you look at his stride. Now, he was way behind in the count, but Ard made some good pitches that he just kind of looked at and brushed off. But his stride is short. He's got a good base underneath him, a good wide base. He keeps his front side closed for a long time, and he's able to see the ball for a long period of time and then fire. The thing that's great about Kubes, he has unbelievable plate coverage. He's able to hit the ball all over the field and hit it with power.
Yeah, last night's ball game, both starters did not walk a batter. And here, both starters have walked 2 batters in the first inning.
Here's Tomey with 2 on and 1 out. Outside, ball 1. If you just looked at that Kubel plate appearance and you didn't have any idea what he'd done in the last 2 weeks, if you just looked at the count going 0-2, he never swung through the whole plate appearance, and you saw him take that 6-pitch walk, you could probably conclude, this guy must be hitting the ball well. Having not watched any of his games the last 2 weeks, just to take the pitches that he took would suggest he's really seeing the ball well.
It looks like right now you could take every pitch and it's not going to be called a strike. We could be here till the sun rises again. Tim McClellan doesn't open up that strike zone a little bit.
Dick, you can see that with a few guys. Pedroia had an at-bat like that in the top of the inning. Both guys locked in. Both guys taking tough pitches that were balls and didn't flinch at them.
1-0 to Tomey. Two 2-0. That one's up high. 21 pitches, 8 strikes for Bedard.
Another pitch that we show in the Fox track, a strike. A high strike, but a strike. Called a ball.
In his Red Sox debut, 5 innings, no walks. 2-0 to Tomey. And that crossed Varitek up. It's 3-0. And he came out of his crouch and nearly took it on the kneecap.
Varitek kind of saying, one's a fastball, two's a curve. Wow.
Almost hit him in the chest.
Yeah.
Shot and a save.
Wow. Well, 3-0. And I got $5 that says Tomey's green lighted here. What do you think?
Well, look middle in and hit $5.99, would you?
And the bases are loaded for Valencia. Well, if there's a lesson to be learned from last night, it's score when you can against this Red Sox team, because they can score at any time. So a great chance here to give Liriano a little breathing room. And Valencia the guy to have up there in this spot.
Now you can see in the second year at the major league level, he's put some very good numbers up with bases loaded.
One out, bases full. Ripped, foul by about 1.5 feet.
Well, Danny likes to pull the ball. This breaking ball, drop the barrel of the bat on it. The ball just hook foul.
You get the bases loaded and a pitcher struggling like this, you know you can look for one location, and for Danny, Bert, as you said, down and in is his sweet spot.
And now 0-2, and he fouled it off his front leg.
That a better breaking ball, and I think that's why right-handers have had a tough time hitting 227 off of Bedard, because of that breaking ball down and in to right-handers. Now the first breaking ball was left up. That ball had pretty good bite to it.
Bert, looking from the side, Bedard looks like a guy, sometimes he does kind of almost that Louis Tiant where he really goes back behind the rubber with his front foot. Other times he slide steps. To me, he's extremely inconsistent with his balance point, and he's flying forward on some pitches. Very inconsistent so far.
High fastball gets him for out number 2.
Good pitch right there. Fastball just above the letters. And Danny Valencia able to make contact. So 2 breaking balls, and then the fastball inside. Yeah, Bedard, we talked about Jonathan Papelbon last night, how he keeps that right shoulder, and the same thing for for Bedard. He really keeps that right shoulder in by turning a little bit, his upper torso.
Here's Delman Young with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Ball 1. Young takes ball 1. Valencia swung at a breaking pitch.
Delman just 2 for 20 in his career against Eric Bedard.
2-0. 2-0 to Delman Young. Breaking ball and a strike. Well, Bedard apparently at a point in the game where he has more confidence in throwing his breaking pitch for a strike than a fastball.
Bert, we did this in the instructional the other day about balance point, and that's the pitch that he's able to stay back and stay back over the rubber is his breaking ball.
There's a fastball missing. It's 3-1. My goodness, 30 pitches, a dozen strikes. And Bedard, if he makes a good pitch here, might still be able to escape this dreadful inning with just 1 run allowed.
Twins need a big hit right here from Delman Young.
Long look in, and now Bedard steps off the rubber. And, hey, why not? It's been a long first inning anyway. Why not make sure?
Oh, Veritek's been crossed up once already. Just getting to know each other, Eric Bedard and Jason Veritek.
Well, I hope the question that Veritek asked wasn't what pitch can you throw over for a strike, because Bedard never responded. 3-1 to Delman Young. Fouled off.
It went to the breaking ball.
Front leg, and it's a full count. So now the carousel starts.
Yep.
3-2 with the bases loaded and 2 out.
Let's see if we can score Jim Thome from first base. He's going to get a good jump. There's Kubel at second. There's Thome.
Struck out Valencia with a high fastball. Missed inside, and Bedard was headed to the dugout. And Delman Young, of all people, gets an RBI with a bases loaded walk.
Yeah, the 4th walk of the inning for Eric Bedard. Now Kurt Young, the pitching coach, coming out. Jake.
Oh my.
Bedard thinking he made a good pitch. Fastball inner half. And Tim McClellan saying it's inside.
Burr, you pitched a long time, Dick. We've all been around the ballpark. Timmy was always a guy I felt that always had a fair strike zone. I wouldn't say it was a great hitter strike zone or pitchers, but he had the same strike zone for everybody. You know, those pitches are pretty close. Frankie threw a couple, and so have Bedard. Those pitches could go either way.
Well, I'll tell you what, right now, if my catcher thinks they're strikes, I need him to say something right now to Tim McClellan, rather than me maybe, putting my hands up. If my catcher thinks they're strikes.
Well, that one pitch.
That's a conversation you can have when you're facing, center field with the umpire behind home plate without showing him up.
My goodness. That one pitch, the ball 4 to Delman Young has cost the Red Sox 1 run. And depending on what Nishioka does, I mean, the Twins could turn this into a big inning just because one borderline pitch looked like it was on the corner, wasn't called. And now the first pitch to Nishioka, close, but ball 1.
Nishioka, new papa. See if he can get a base hit for his newborn.
I think there's something to be said about an umpire getting into a rhythm just like the pitcher, just like the hitters in a ball game. And right now with, Frankie misfired a little bit, but with Bedard not being all over the place, I think it's tough for an umpire to get into a rhythm also.
1-1 to Nishioka. 2-1. Well, without looking it up, I got to believe McClellan is the senior umpire in the American League. In the major leagues.
Well, like Ron said, he's always been a good ball to strike caller. I think they had a survey not too long ago with the players, and his name was right on the top.
Nishioka fouls it back 2-2.
36 pitches for Eric Bedard, 15 strikes.
Only been 2 balls put in play. Mauer's single and Kanayer's sacrifice fly. Two and two to the Twins shortstop. And he got him with a breaking pitch. A foul tip. Veritek hung on. And the Twins get 2, but like the Red Sox, they leave the bases full. Me hungry.
You ate already.
I mean, I can't be hungry. 2-0, and now Liriano, who, boy, we thought he had control issues. He only walked 2 in the first inning.
Nice little half-hour inning.
2 balls were put in play. The Twins scored twice and left the bases full. Strike 1 to Carl Crawford. Veritek and McDonald will follow. 1-1. Flared foul, and it's 1-2. Crawford hit in the top of the order all those years in Tampa Bay. Got off to a slow start. Responded hitting down on the lower half of the order for Boston, and that's kind of where they've left him. 2-2. Angels took a run at him. He ended up settling in Boston. Foul tip. Within a matter of days, the Red Sox signed Crawford and acquired Gonzalez.
Crawford signing a 7-year deal with the Boston Red Sox worth about $135 million.
Another foul ball, 2-2.
Crawford just 29 years old. 9 seasons with the Tampa Bay Rays. Came up very young. A career .296 hitter coming into this year. A guy that has over 400 stolen bases in his career. A guy you want to make swing the bat if you can. No free passes to this guy.
Should say that during the Pedroia at bat.
Yeah.
3-2. And a strikeout for the first out of the second inning.
The ball down in the strike zone, and Crawford swings through it. Good fastball, good location. Good thing Crawford swung. Don't know if McClellan would have called it.
1 gone, and here's Veritek. Jared Saltalamacchia doing most of the catching for the Red Sox now. He caught last night. Varitek getting Bedard tonight. And Liriano gets a called strike.
Yeah, the captain here in Boston, Jason Varitek, 39 years old, his 15th season with the Boston Red Sox.
One and one. Originally drafted by the Twins, but didn't sign. Drafted again by the Mariners, and it took them a long time to sign him. And there's a called strike. Varitek a little puzzled by that call.
The Twins actually signed him out of high school. Varitek decided to go to Georgia Tech, and then later on signed with Seattle, their #1 pick.
Pulled foul. One and two. Bouncer to short. Nishioka comes up firing 2 down. Join Marty Kellner and the Fox Sports North crew at White Bear Bar in White Bear Lake for the Fox Sports North HD viewing party Friday starting at 5:30. Don't miss your chance to be on TV. Plus watch Minnesota take on the Indians. Register to win prizes and merchandise. Visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on the events banner for details. Our second trip to Cleveland. As I recall, let me put it this way. I don't recall you throwing out the ceremonial first pitch in Cleveland.
Well, but I will this time. Roberto Alomar and myself are throwing out the first pitch. Yep, on Friday night.
Well, good deal.
Let's see. I did it in Texas. I did it in Anaheim. What other clubs did I play for? Did it here.
Did it in Bradenton, the Pittsburgh
Pirates. Yep. Cleveland's the last one.
They gave you a jersey, I understand.
Yes, they did. And the Twins gave me a baseball. It was a good ball, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
2-1 to McDonald. And I've noticed throughout, you never do go on the mound, do you? You like to deliver your ceremonial first pitch in front of the mound.
Yeah, you know what? I heard that Jack Morris did that the other day in a '91 reunion.
Right.
He feels the same way I do. That's kind of a sacred area, and do it in front of the mound.
3-1. Bouncer. Nice backhanded stop by Valencia, but he'll not be able to throw out McDonald. So he stopped the grounder and maybe turned a double into a single.
Right, that's the biggest thing right there. Good range by Danny, going to his right. Now once he fell right there with McDonald's speed, really no chance. And now we're doing the right thing, coming off the bag and keeping the ball in front of him.
Ellsbury will hit now with 2 out and a man aboard. See, the one opportunity I had to throw out the ceremonial first pitch, I couldn't resist. It was St. Cloud State night at the Dome. They wanted me to throw out the first pitch. I thought this is the only chance I'm going to have to get on that mound.
Yeah. Did you do it?
And I went on the top of the mound.
Did you?
Yeah. And I know it was against protocol. I just couldn't resist myself.
Did you see how far it is when he got up there? That's why I'm standing in front. It's not as far.
That's 60 feet 6 inches business. That was a long time ago, right?
Not the 60 feet. It's the 6 inches that did.
1 strike to Ellsbury.
Good breaking ball right there by Liriano. Left-handers hitting just .228 off of Liriano, .247 overall. With another good breaking ball.
2 strikes to Ellsbury.
A lot of pitches early on for Liriano.
Higher percentage of strikes in this inning, though. Trying to finish off the second inning. Got a delay in Cleveland, the big matchup between Detroit and the Indians. Wild high and away, 1-2. There's strike 3, and a good inning for Liriano. He gives up a 2-out infield single, but keeps the Twins in front 2-0.
Red Sox here at Target Field. I'm Robbie and Smikowski, joined by a couple members of the Twins grounds crew for a day as they were winners in the broadcast auction. This is Dave McLennan and his son Jack. Dave, what's this day been like for you so far?
Unbelievable, Robbie. We got here about 3:30. We raked the field. We've hung around. It's been unbelievable. So,
and of course,
thanks for having us.
And it's they won in the broadcast auction. We had the 2 games against the Texas Rangers in Texas. Dick, of course, you got saved from having to come in on an off day, which if Bert won that auction, he was going to have you do. And the cool thing about it is Dave won the auction. He asked the Twins if he could buy another one to get his son Jack involved in. The Twins, of course, obliged, with the proceeds going to the Twins Community Fund. So obviously, it's a great day and a great experience for 2 very loyal Twins fans from Edina, Minnesota. Bert and Dick.
Thank you, Robbie, and thank you, Dave and Jack, for your support.
Yes.
But since I met them this afternoon, I've been looking so hard to find some thunderclouds. I'd love to see those guys work the tarp.
I told them that same thing.
Yeah.
I hope it rains. When I talked to the ground crew down there, when I believe Jack was down there, I said, well, what are you guys going to have them do? He said, all the stuff we don't like to do.
There you go. And he actually told me that they started bidding on the broadcast experience up here to come up with us, because they recognize there's really little to do up here. There's a lot less to do up here than down there. Now that could develop into something. There's a called third strike.
And Butera knew it and started walking away. As soon as, again, even though Tim McClellan is a little bit late getting up and making the sound, watch Butera. McClellan saying strike 3, and Butera heading back to the dugout. Third strikeout for Eric Bedard.
Ben Revere started the 2-run first with a walk, scored on a sacrifice fly. Revere's ability, improvement in his ability to draw walks, is probably going to be central in how much of an impact he'll have up here. That's the one advantage I think Denard Span has over Revere. He's got a little power, and we haven't seen Revere with much power yet.
Right.
But if Revere can draw more walks and then utilize his speed on the bases, it's only going to help his game and the Twins.
Yeah, leads the Twins with 19 stolen bases in 24 attempts.
Now, because he's gone back and forth and has become kind of a bench player now with Span back in the lineup, he's only played roughly half a season. So you take those 19 steals, you double them, and you're looking at a guy, even when he's hitting in the 250s, that could steal 40 bases. Foul back. So you hope over time he can draw more walks. His batting average will improve, and then maybe you're looking at 50 to 60 bases.
Oh, you're looking at a guy like Carl Crawford.
Right. 2-2 to Revere. Up the middle, knocked down by Bedard. A hard one hopper, and Bedard throws him out. Good play by the pitcher.
Yeah, he doesn't make that play right there. The ball's in center field.
2 down. Check out our Sanford Health injury report. Today, the Twins put Scott Baker on the disabled list. Kevin Slowey is scheduled to start Sunday in Cleveland. They say structurally nothing wrong, just the flexor muscle, which is in the forearm, high forearm area, I guess.
Which creates some fatigue, and I think we talked a little bit about that yesterday, Dick. Really, his last 2 starts, that long inning he had in Anaheim where he threw, 46 pitches? You know, you could kind of see it there. And then yesterday, I thought the first 3 innings, couple innings, were good for Baker, and then everything kind of flattened out. So the fatigue factor, I think, in that right surgically repaired elbow.
So Baker's season disrupted by injury. Swing and a foul. Mauer's season disrupted by injury. And if the 2011 season has proven nothing else, it's that ability without durability really doesn't matter.
Well, Boston went through it last year.
Yep, Youkilis was out. Ellsbury only played a handful of games after colliding with Adrian Beltre in the first.
Pedroia was out for a long time.
2 strikes to Mauer. And now a ball.
Ortiz was fighting the wrist injury.
And even Bedard, we mentioned, he's had injury, a history of his own. He missed all of last year because of shoulder surgery.
Had the Tommy John surgery back in 2002, and then the shoulder surgery in August of last year.
Grounded to short. Lowry has it. Over to Gonzalez, and the inning ends. So each starting pitcher has a much better second inning. Minnesota. Visit exploreminnesota.com to plan your next Minnesota vacation today. I've done that a few times. I love doing it. And great hobby in the Minnesota. Fly fishing, trout fishing in the scenic Whitewater State Park, southeastern Minnesota. A lot of the top fly fishing streams are down there. Brown trout, brook trout, rainbow trout.
I went fly fishing one time, and that was in Boston with Bob McClure. We were teammates in Anaheim. Bob McClure, the pitching coach, and couldn't get the darn thing out to the lake because I kept hooking something behind me.
Right?
I caught a lot of weeds. Pretty tough too.
Salad. You got the salad for the meal with the weeds and everything that you. Dustin Pedroia leading off the third inning, 3-0 from Liriano.
Bob didn't catch anything in either.
Well, no wonder you didn't go back. You didn't catch anything.
No.
Pedroia, Gonzalez, and Youkilis with the Twins up 2-0. Fouled away. So in this case, just think of the Boston lineup as it was for a good part of the year last year, without Ellsbury, their leadoff hitter, without Pedroia, the number 2 hitter, and without Youkilis, their cleanup hitter. So yeah, the Red Sox can relate to what the Twins have gone through this year.
Ooh, pretty good pitch right there.
And
inside.
Pedroia draws his second walk, third issued by Liriano. Adrian Gonzalez in his first year with the Red Sox, making a bid for an MVP award, but he's got some competition in his own clubhouse.
Yeah, I think, you look at Curtis Granderson having a great year for the Yankees, 28 home runs. Miguel Cabrera, he's always in the voting. Ellsbury, Batista.
Down and away, ball 1. To take nothing away from Batista, who's having another great year, the Blue Jays have really never been a factor. And I'm one that, if I had a ballot, would strongly consider contention in a division race, if not winning a race. There's a called strike, 1-1. I'd have a tough time voting for anybody other than Miguel Cabrera if I had a vote, because I don't think the Tigers are a shell of the team that they are without Cabrera in the middle of their lineup.
About the year this guy's having, though. Yeah. His first year in the American League.
Bouncer towards second. Gonzalez doesn't run well, so they got a chance for 2. And it is a double play.
Well, pitcher's best friend, Gonzalez, a little out front of that slider. It's a ground ball. And Liriano getting a double play turned behind him, his 14th double play of the year. And he's been on the mound.
2 down, and here's Youkilis.
That is the 25th double play that Gonzalez has hit into. He's got my vote.
Well, you were a pitcher. You said a double play is a pitcher's best friend.
That's right.
Inside, Youkilis, 1-1. Youkilis switched back over to third base with the acquisition of Gonzalez. 2-1.
I always wondered how he can hit the way he puts that hand up the barrel of the bat. Gets set. Everybody, when we showed, Ron Coomer showed Jason Kubel earlier how still he is in the batter's box. Not this guy. Very fidgety. A lot of movement.
This is the anti-Kubel.
But, when Liriano's getting ready to deliver the ball, it all gets back to normal.
He's bouncing in the batter's box, and everybody has their own way, don't they, Ron?
They do. He does with his top hand where you see it. It keeps his hand loose on the bat.
Liriano with a nice fielding play to get Youkilis, and he has a nice third inning facing just 3 batters. Well, Cuddyer drove the first run in for the Twins with a sacrifice fly to center. He'll lead off the third against Eric Bedard. Swing and a miss at the fastball. Cuddyer, Kubel, and Thome here in the Twins' third. One and one. The Red Sox originally were going to have Andrew Miller pitch in this series. They had him penciled in for last night, but then Miller pitched 2 2/3 of relief. Took him 71 pitches to do that, and that kind of burned him up for this series. Bouncer foul.
Yeah, Bedard making his 12th career start against the Twins, his 159th major league start. 55 major league wins, 48 major league losses. Came up with the Orioles.
1 and 2. 2 and 2. Made a start on August 4th, and to give you some idea how injury prone he's been, it's the first August or September start he's made since '07. He's really broken down a lot, and I'm sure the Red Sox are crossing their fingers every time they send him out there.
Well, again, the Tommy John surgery back in 2002. He's had 2 shoulder surgeries that are going to put him on the shelf.
They acquired him to pitch in August and September, and he hasn't done much of that in the last 4 years. Full count. Bedard staring down Cuddyer, and Cuddyer backs out of the box.
It looked like Veritek finally went to 2 fingers, so maybe he wants to throw this 3-2 curveball. There it is. Curveball, outer half of the plate.
Over the mound, cut off by Lowry, and he sidearms it over to Gonzalez, 1 away.
Fans, go to foxsportsnorth.com and click on to Circle Me Bert to submit an email on why you're signed. And there you go, Helen. You're not Ellen. You are hereby circled. Generous here last night on an upcoming home game, and have a chance to visit us up here in the booth. We'll reveal 2 of the sections the morning before each game. One will be listed on foxsportsnorth.com and the other on KFAN.com.
4 walks issued by Bedard in the first inning, and if there's one he could have back, it would be the one to Jason Kubel. Had him 0-2, ended up losing him to a walk. And then Thome walked, and then Delman Young walked with the bases loaded.
You know, on that 3-2 pitch to Cuddyer, I saw the 2, so you're assuming curveball, but it was a fastball. So, you know, not your typical signs that Veritek and Bedard use.
Now 1-1.
Wow, I love the hair.
And Kubel with a base hit to center field. He's 1 for 1 with a walk.
Well, Ron Coomer, you talked about Jason Kubel and his approach to hitting. I mean, another base hit.
Well, he's really swinging the bat well, and watch how quiet his feet are. His front toe will probably stay closed on this swing. It's an off-speed pitch. The foot goes up and down, stays on the ball, and you look at, to me, there's 2 things that happen. His foot hardly moves. It just comes up and down. Front toe stays closed. And what happens, he's allowed to see the ball so much better because you have very little head movement with that swing. Great approach to hitting by Jason Kubel right there.
Pitch low to Thome, who drew a walk in the first inning. Whoa!
Watch out.
Thome loses his bat. And he'd like to have that one back if he can.
Good luck with keeping that bat. No chance.
That gentleman right to the left of the guy that's holding the bat is the one that got hit by the bat.
And reluctantly, but finally, the fan gives the bat back. And Tommy very immediate in his request to get that bat back, and his backup bat, which was brought to him by the bat boy, is going to the fan.
Well, you see the tape right there that Tommy has.
But then I don't, that might be a bat that Jim's used to hit one of his historic home runs, too.
Very nice. Nice of the fan to give it back, and he was rewarded with another bat.
Jim's last home run was in Anaheim, less than a week ago. It's plausible that that was the bat he used, and he wants to keep using it.
Yeah.
1-1 to Tommy. Down and away, just off the plate.
Look right there, boy.
I think got into the seats in a hurry, like so many of his home runs.
I could never throw a bat that far. I couldn't swing that hard. No wonder a guy hit 600 bombs.
2-1. Three and one, and all these pitches to Tommy are right there, right on the frame of the strike zone.
Last two pitches.
Now, I would agree with you guys with anybody else that's hitting, but you got a veteran umpire and the veteran hitter. He's got to get that call, doesn't he, Bert?
No.
3-1.
Strike's a strike.
High fly to left. And Crawford comes in a couple of steps and makes the catch for out number 2. You can ask a question online at carsoup.com/baseball. John Leedy from Lilydale. How many solo home runs have the Twins hit? And is that the most in baseball? Well, the Twins haven't hit that many home runs.
Yeah, Twins have hit 74 home runs on the year. Those are the solo home runs. 48 solo home runs the Twins have hit of their 74.
Here's Valencia with Kubel aboard and 2 out. Ball 1. Valencia struck out with the bases loaded. It took a bases loaded walk by the next batter, Delman Young, to get the second run in for the Twins.
Yeah, he started him off with a couple breaking balls in his first at bat, then struck him out on a fastball middle in.
Two and 0. 65 pitches, most of them balls. 33 to 32.
Four walks, 3 strikeouts. Twins have 2 hits.
Lace to center. And down for a hit. Valencia smoked that ball to center. First and second, 2 down, and that'll bring up Delman Young.
Well, got his barrel of the bat out in front right there. See where that pitch was, about belt high. Danny with some movement, not as much as Youkilis, but still Ron Coomer. I mean, just everybody does it differently.
They do, and when you have a lot of movement like that, the big key to having all that, or that hitch in your swing, which a guy like Bucket and a lot of guys have, is getting it out of the way early and getting to that launch position early when you're recognizing the pitch. That's the big key, is just getting it out of the way early.
Delman Young lifts it to right. McDonald near the line, and now back a little bit, makes the catch. The Twins get a couple of singles, leave them aboard. It's still 2-0. He's value player of the game. Text the word value followed by a space in the player's name to short code 234234. Pretty evenly split between Valencia, Tomey, and Kubel. And Liriano delivers up and in to David Ortiz.
Hey, before we go any further, I want to say hello to Andrew in Children's Hospital. Hey, Andrew, get well soon. I'm pulling for you. Get back here to the ballpark. And you are hereby circled, Andrew.
Bouncer to second. Kadire has it from the outfield grass. Throws him out, one down.
Well, we have our Circle Me Burt guests up here. It's Leslie, Troy, and David. And we were told that you guys fell in love with the game of baseball by Lillian Rye. That's your grandmother. And she's in Watertown, and I know she's watching. So, Lillian, thank you very much for teaching them the game of baseball, how to love it, right? Very good. Welcome.
One down in the fourth. Here's Jed Lowry and a bouncer to third his first time up to end the first inning. Pretty big at bat at the time because the bases were loaded. The Twins hadn't scored yet. And it looked for all the world like Liriano was going to have one of those innings and one of those nights. But he got Lowry. The Twins scored first, and maybe the 2 runs have helped settle Liriano down a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of times early run support, even if it's 1 or 2, just take a deep breath.
Big pop-up for Kadire, and out number 2. Twins series against the Red Sox concludes tomorrow. CenturyLink is the proud presenter of this showdown against the Red Sox. Limited tickets, including standing room only, are available for tomorrow's games. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com and check on ticket availability. 2 gone. Here's Carl Crawford. Ball 1. Crawford went down swinging his first time up. 2-0. Liriano with 61 pitches, just 31 strikes. And a called strike, 2-1. I mentioned that Liriano last year control wasn't an issue. He threw a much higher percentage of strikes. And so you wonder why this year. So my question to you is 22 years. Did you ever have a year where you felt your control was really off all year long?
I know one year I walked over 100 batters in a season.
That was probably with 300 innings.
Yeah. No, I actually only walked like 50 some that year. I think it might have been the year that after I gave up the 96 home runs in 2 years, I tried to be a little bit better as far as don't land one in there.
3-2. And Tim McClellan was your umpire every night, and he wouldn't call the corners, right?
Yeah. I wish I could blame somebody. It was me.
And Crawford with a foul. Gutierrez can't quite hang on.
Yeah, just got a piece of it right there.
Still delayed in Cleveland, 2-2 between the Tigers and Indians. Checks his swing. You know, remembering back to the start of the year, Liriano had some shoulder tightness and he didn't feel quite right. And he kind of got behind the program in spring training from the get-go and never really caught up until the season. And so whether that has anything to do with his erratic control this year or not. It's a swing and a miss. He's gotten Crawford twice, and he has his first 1-2-3 inning. Is brought to you by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. By AT&T. And by Miller High Life. Miller High Life is proud to sponsor Operation Home Base. Give a veteran a piece of the High Life. Bedard drops a curveball over for strike one to Tsuyoshi Nishioka. Then Drew Butera and Ben Revere, with the Bedard having much better command of his curve than his fastball here in the opening innings. Fastball lifted foul and out of play.
He struck out Nishioka with bases loaded and 2 outs in the first inning on a good curveball down and in. See if he goes back there. Why wouldn't you?
So Nishioka strikes out for the first out of the fourth.
Yeah, even though Nishioka's never faced Bedard and Bedard's never faced Nishioka, when he has that swing he had to end the first, you got to go right back to the kitchen. And Nishioka, again, fooled by the curveball. So Bedard picks up his 4th strikeout of the ball game.
Nishioka's English picking up as he plays his first year over here. Drew Butera will hit. Ball 1 to Drew Butera.
Butera struck out on a good fastball middle in for the first out in the second inning. Just like that.
1-1. Wide of the plate, 2-1.
I remember back in the early 2000s, I think it was 2003, 2004, Eric Bedard and Scott Kashmir. Remember him? I mean, the Angels just released him. I thought these two lefties were going to be in baseball a long time.
Nice catch by Youkilis. With Butera stinging the ball hard, Youkilis made a nice catch near the line.
Yeah, that breaking ball staying up a little bit, and Butera got good wood on it, but right at Kevin Youkilis, has to reach to his right to get it. Watch the pitch. And a good solid swing, but Youkilis getting that line drive for the out.
2 down. Here's Ben Revere. Walked and scored in the first. Hit a hard one hopper back to Bedard for the second out of the second inning. Check swing, strike 1.
75 pitches, 40-35. Strike the ball. 37 in that first inning.
1-1. Tapper towards second. Pedroia. Gonzalez. Another 1-2-3 inning. This time on 10 pitches. It's 2-0 after 4. our AT&T trivia question tonight, who are the 4 Red Sox pitchers to throw no-hitters to Jason Varitek? I got 2 of them right away.
Clemens one of them?
No.
No?
Clemens never threw a no-hitter, did he?
Did?
I don't believe he ever threw a no-hitter. John Lester did.
How about Beckett?
Did he have one? If he had one, I don't know. Hideo Nomo.
Varitek's been around 15 years.
2-0. Varitek, McDonald, and Ellsbury. Three 3-0 to the number 8 batter. Varitek bounced to short his first time up. And a 4-pitch walk starts the 5th inning.
4th walk for Liriano.
Let's get an injury update from Robbie Ince-Mikowski.
Well, guys, it's for 2 minor leaguers in Rochester, Kyle Gibson and Anthony Slamma. First for Slamma, news not that bad. He has a muscle strain in the elbow. Kyle Gibson has a partial tear in the UCL ligament. He will not undergo Tommy John surgery at this time. Going to head back to Fort Myers to try to rehab the injury. We don't know what the future holds for Kyle Gibson in terms of having the surgery, but for right now, he opts for rehab back in Fort Myers rather than Tommy John surgery. So that's good news. It's not a complete tear of the UCL.
Well, that there's a tear at all, of course, is going to be an area of concern. 1 strike to McDonald, and now a ball, 1-1. And of course, Scott Baker has the strained flexor muscle and is on the disabled list. One to McDonald, who singled his last time up.
And McDonald, a former Twin, he was with the Twins in 2007. Played in only 4 games, went 1 for 10 at the plate.
Half swing and a strike.
Second season with the Boston Red Sox for McDonald. Last year hit .270. Average of 174 so far this year.
That's hit a long way, and it's just tied the game. On a 1-2 pitch, McDonald cranks a 2-run home run after the leadoff walk, and the 8 and 9 hitters combined to tie the game.
I've thrown many hangers, and this is a hanger right here. Liriano, once he let that ball go, McDonald just, I mean, he jumped all over it. His 4th home run of the year. Such a good hitting ball club, even a number 9 hitter. You make a mistake, you see the pitch about bell tie and airborne right there. Another ball in that second deck.
2 apiece, and now here's Ellsbury with nobody out. Strike 1. Ellsbury with a pop up to short and a strikeout. Mauer finds Liriano, who just barely beats Ellsbury to the bag. 1 away. You can take the Twins with you wherever you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today. See every Twins game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit twinsbaseball.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. And market blackouts rules apply. Here's Pedroia. Measure the home run at 412 feet. And more, Bert. I think we're seeing more home runs hit in this ballpark, and they seem to be going more and more into the upper deck.
Well, the cement is dried.
Now, whatever it is, ball 1. I don't think there's any question that the ball
jumping better,
jumping better this year than it did last year. And I thought about that last night on the way home after I saw Kubal's fly ball home run. Now, Jason's very strong, but that was a high fly ball that carried into the basket. I don't know that we saw too many of those last year.
I agree.
It only made it back 3-4 rows.
Yeah, it went about as high as it went distance-wise.
That's right. 1-1. 2-1.
And Butera out to try to settle down Liriano.
Well, you navigate your way through Ellsbury, Pedroia, Gonzalez, Youkilis, Ortiz, Crawford, and then you walk Veritek and give up a home run to the number 9 guy. That's got to be a punch in the stomach.
It's a lineup that you look at the lineup card and you say there's not a place that you can take a breath. You know, even though McDonald, you know, he's hitting 165 coming into the ball game, you make a mistake to those guys, the 7, 8, 9 guys, they're going to hurt you.
Well, he survived the first 3 walks. It's the leadoff walk to the number 8 hitter Veritek that ended up costing Liriano. Fly ball to center field, and Ben Revere makes the catch.
Same thing as facing the Yankee lineup, Dick. You know, 1 through 9, you know that there's guys in there that lineup can beat you.
Well, and of course, when those two teams meet, it's guaranteed to be a 4-hour game. And there are a lot of reasons for that. Generally, those games are on national TV and they're longer commercial breaks, so that's a big part of it. But then, you know, the pitchers, they said Beckett the other day when he pitched against the Yankees. Now, ordinarily, Beckett's a catch and throw type of guy, pretty quick out there on the mound, but he was taking 30, 40 seconds between pitches, which is uncharacteristic of him. One strike to Adrian Gonzalez. Just missing 1-1. White Sox are beating Baltimore 4-3. They scored 4 quick runs. They're hanging on in the 9th inning. 2-1.
Well, both pitchers are not getting the corners at all.
Very similar to the one that was called.
That was
ball
little,
2.
That was about a hair over the strike
I'm sorry, my bad.
Just a hair.
My bad. And now 3-2 with Youkilis on deck. It's a big series in the National League in St. Louis. The Brewers leading the Cardinals 2-0 in the 4th at Busch Stadium.
Another pitcher with too many pitches in a short amount of time. This will be pitch number 88 for Liriano. That's another walk, his 5th.
5 innings, 5 walks.
Ten 3-ball counts for Liriano so far in this ballgame.
Youkilis hit a liner to right and a comebacker to Liriano.
We showed you the pitch count: 19, 22, 14, 12. And, you know, what you want to average is between 12 to 16 pitches an inning.
Changeup and a called strike.
And you need some innings where you throw, you know, 5 or 6 pitches to get some quick outs. And Liriano just not that type of pitcher.
Fly ball, right center field. Revere, Kubel. And it's Kubel with the catch to end the inning.
2-pitch out right there.
Leadoff walk, follow-up home run by Darnell McDonald, and we're tied at 2.
$100 in Minnesota State Lottery tickets. Bert, this is Al celebrating birthday number 80. How about this creative sign made by his granddaughter? Your name?
Julia.
Julia made this sign. How about the party hat on top, Al? Bert has circled you. What does that mean to you, sir?
Can't believe it.
That's a...
It probably had tingles all over, didn't it?
Number.
80 is a good number. Bert will be 80 in 20 years.
Yeah, I know.
That's quite a sign that your granddaughter made. I like the party hat on top. Bert, this is one of the better signs that we've seen this season.
Yes, happy birthday, young man.
And dare I say, I think that's the smallest circle you've ever done.
Well, I wanted to get him. I wanted to just get him.
Mauer with a swing and a foul, 2 strikes.
Well, both starters using a lot of pitches. 90 pitches for Liriano after 5, and Eric Bedard, this will be pitch number 80. Trying to get the first out here in the 5th.
2 strikes to Mauer. He'll be followed by Kadire and Kubel, and then the Twins hope Tony. One and 2. And Albers has done a nice job for the Red Sox this year. Pretty much doing what Bobby Jenks was supposed to be doing.
Right.
1 and 2. 2 and 2. Mauer hitting about 100 points less against lefties than righties, but he is 1 for 2 tonight against Bedard. Fly ball left field. 1 away. Crawford with the catch. Arby's at Fox Sports North giving you a chance to win a trip for 2 to Fort Myers, Florida. Pick up an Arby's It's Good Mood Food code card every Friday at any participating Arby's. Then log on to foxsportsnorth.com. Click on the Fan Zone tab. Enter the code for the chance to win. Got to be a member of the Fan Zone. It's free to join. You got to be 18 or older. Visit foxsportsnorth.com for more info. Here is Kadire. Inside, ball 1. Kadire drove in the first run with a sacrifice fly. And then in the 3rd inning, he led off with a bouncer to Lowry. High and tight fastball. Gets a swing and a miss.
91-mile-an-hour fastball up in the strike zone.
Fastball and another swing and a miss. CenturyLink high speed pitch. Bedard against Liriano.
Well, both lefties both throw pretty hard. Bedard at 93 as Liriano is.
1 and 2 to Michael Kadire. Bedard was acquired to replace Clay Buchholz. He's in our trivia question too, a no-hitter.
That's right. That's right.
With Jason Varitek catching. Breaking ball gets a swing and a miss. Out number 2, and it brings up Jason Kubel, who continues to swing the bat well through the Boston series, our Window Concepts window of opportunity.
You know, it seems, Dick, that, Kubel, he's kind of stepped it up. He's a good hitter, no matter who, but against the Boston Red Sox, the Yankees, the Tigers, pretty good numbers overall. It could be because, Dick, what Ron Kuma was talking about is relaxed, stance and just let his bat do his talking. Jason Kubel doesn't talk a lot, so He's just kind of a quiet guy that just goes about his business and continues to put up good numbers when he's healthy.
1 strike to Kubel. Out in front of the sweeping breaking ball, 2 strikes. Bedard's found something. He looked like he was ready to have a very short night here tonight. The Twins did leave the bases full after scoring a couple of runs, and they haven't mounted much of a threat against him since. 2 strikes.
A lot of shakeoffs. Finally agreed.
Wow.
Changeup.
So back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings for a guy who looked like he was about ready to be replaced in the first inning.
Enjoying the benefits of high pressure, so with the exception of just a couple of clouds, looks like another beautiful afternoon, and that should certainly also continue into the evening hours.
Tied at 2 here in the 6th. And the first pitch to David Ortiz taken for ball 1. That was the 90th pitch thrown by Liriano. The Twins would love it if he could have a nice quick inning here in the 6th without giving up any runs. But now he's fallen behind Ortiz 2-0. Walked him to fill the bases in the first, and then got the next man to leave the bases full. Deflected. Nishioka picks it up, fires, and got him. Good play. Liriano knocked it down and hit it way over to the second base, the first base side of second base, and an acrobatic play for the first out.
Yeah, about the only play that Nishioka had was to do this. Now, David Ortiz not the quickest down that first baseline, so Nishioka barehanding it and then flipping it over to Mauer. The knockdown deflected towards second. Nishioka cuts in front of Kadire to get the out. Nice play by Nishioka.
One down, and here's Lowry. White Sox have beaten the Orioles 4-3, starting to make a move, sweeping the Twins here, winning the first 2 in Baltimore. They're still a game below 500. Depending on what happens in the Detroit-Cleveland game, White Sox could be just 4 games back. And if that doesn't happen, they'll be in a tie with the Indians for second place.
Well, again, Dick, that's why it's so hard for the Twins. They have to start sweeping series rather than winning series here shortly because of what they're trying to catch. They're trying to catch the Tigers, the Indians, and the Chicago White Sox.
Twins got to, 5 games of the 500 mark and then faded badly. 3-0. 96 pitches, 48 balls, 48 strikes for Liriano. And a 4-pitch walk puts Lowry aboard.
And the 6th walk for Liriano.
And log on to foxsportsnorth.com. Check out the Vikings and Gopher football position previews. Today, Tim Yoder looks at wide receivers and the Vikings' hopes for a breakout season from Percy Harvin. Tyler Mason takes a look at the Gopher offensive line. How a lack of experienced depth might create several position battles for Minnesota. Those stories and more right now at foxsportsnorth.com.
Second time this season Liriano has walked 6 in a ball game. He walked 6 in his no-hitter against the Chicago White Sox. And the 4th time in his career he's walked 6.
That night he had completed 8 with just under 100 pitches and went over that 100 pitch mark. And now after the nice play by Nishioka to retire Ortiz, Liriano has walked Lowry and fallen behind Crawford 2-0.
Yeah, Butera going out almost the same time that pitching coach Rick Anderson went out to talk to Liriano here. 1 out, man on first.
McClellan coming to the mound.
Yeah, this inning so far for Liriano, 9 pitches thrown, 8 balls.
So 2-0 to Crawford.
Yeah, to 3 hits. I mean, Liriano came into this outing his 21st start, only 103 hits in 111 innings or pitch, but you know, the 59 walks, that's about 2 base runners per inning.
And a strike. Now Liriano tonight has just 3 strikeouts, and he's gotten Crawford twice. So he's the one guy you'd want to make sure you threw strikes to, because he doesn't seem to be able to make contact, or at least hasn't yet. 2-1. Three and 1 to Crawford with 1 gone in a tie game, top of the 6th. Walk number 7. My goodness.
Career high for Liriano with the 7th walk.
Veritek coming to the plate. He drew a walk and scored on the McDonald home run. The 4 Red Sox pitchers, I think we named Nomo, Lester, Buchholz, and we missed one. Derek Lowe.
Yeah, these Derek Lowe and Veritek was traded. They were traded together from Seattle.
Remember who Seattle got?
Yeah,
Heathcliff Slocum. That's
yeah.
right. Veritek bounces it through the hole to left. Lowry around third. He's coming in. Delman Young's throw coming to third. And Nishioka with an acrobatic stop. A tag, and they get the second out. A run scores. The Red Sox have a 3-2 lead. But Nishioka running one way and looking back behind him to try to catch Valencia's throw.
Well, it's a heads-up play by Nishioka going to cover third right here, because Delman Young on the base hit, he looks like he's going to throw home. Watch Danny Valencia. He becomes the cutoff man. Nishioka sees that Crawford's coming. He takes a short hop. And then Nishioka fake, and then running down Crawford for the second out. Good concentration right there, thinking that Crawford's going to slide in. But instead it becomes a rundown.
So Boston has its first lead. Ball 1 now to Darnell McDonald. Delman Young getting an assist for out number 2, and Veritek remains at first base. 1-1. So 7 walks, 2 of them have scored. And the Red Sox get a big base hit from Veritek, their 4th of the ball game, to take the lead. Nice block by Butera. on the outside corner.
That has not been the prettiest outing for Liriano, but if he's able to get out of this inning, it's considered in today's game a quality start. 107 pitches thrown, 7 walks, 3 strikeouts. Butera going back out.
Well, they're clamoring in the truck for an asterisk to be put on the quality start stat. If Liriano completes 6 innings here, but he walks 7 guys, how on earth could you call it a quality start?
Today's game, that's what they call it. To me, a quality start, 7 innings, 2 earned runs or less.
I mean, you were born in the 1800s. I mean, that's
no, back then you had to go 9. That was a quality start.
3-2.
Again, I'd love to go back and see how the game was played when Cy Young pitched.
I'm guessing it was played a lot quicker than tonight's game. 3-2, runner goes, strike 3 at the end of the inning.
Oh, there's a quality start.
3-2, Red Sox lead. Jim Thome will lead off the bottom of the inning as he continues his ascent to Mount 600.
Minnesota Twins, I want to say a very special thank you to all of our military people serving this country. Get home safely so you can come home and grab a beer and watch a ball game with us.
Very nice.
And grab a Miller highlight. Tune in to Fox Sports North Sunday, August 14th for Operation Home Base presented by Miller High Life. Marty Gellner visits the 119th Air National Guard Base in Fargo for an inside look at drill training. Was how they help those overseas and in their own backyard. Well, Eric Bernard was hardly sharp as a razor tonight, but now Matt Albers relieves him with Bedard having gone 5 innings.
Yeah, he'd retired the last 7, so Bedard had that tough first inning, but then he settled down and only had 1 walk after that. 6 strikeouts for Bedard. Albers coming in, 39th appearance. Very good, 2.31 earned run average.
And Thome stands in, facing the right-handed fireballer Matt Albers. Up and in, ball 1.
Albers signing as a free agent over the winter. The last 3 seasons with the Baltimore Orioles. Came up with the Astros back in 2006.
Thome says this is more my speed. Had to face a knuckleballer last night. His father, Chuck, is in the back behind the glass in the Nike white shirt. Wife Andrea in attendance as well. Up and in. No, I beg your pardon. Called strike 1 and 2. Fooled the scoreboard, fooled me.
Well, that fastball came back inside right there. Little movement.
Tomey with a walk and a fly ball to left. Has yet to homer in this homestand. Just off the corner. Always a disciplined hitter, and maybe never more so as he's approached this milestone. He's still taking walks and taking close pitches when the temptation would be to swing away and try to get this thing over with as soon as possible. Fouled away.
Oh, got a good pitch swing right there, but pretty good fastball at 92. A little movement.
Two and two. Albers to Tomey. Got him with a high fastball. One away.
Albers picking up his 48th strikeout in 47 innings pitched. Came in and challenged Jim Tomey with that high fastball, and Jim just swinging underneath it.
Valencia struck out with the bases loaded in the first, and then with 1 on and 2 out of the third, he lined a sharp single to center. Strike 1, mid-90s fastball right at the belt.
Liriano, I'm sure, is done. As Maharis and Matt Capps getting up. 109 pitches for Liriano. And we're talking about a quality start. The only other quality start in all of baseball this year was Sean O'Sullivan when he pitched against the Twins back in late April. He had 7 walks in 6 innings and allowed only 1 earned run. So there you go. There's another quality start.
With a whole bunch of walks.
Yes.
2 strikes to Valencia. And another one up the middle. So Valencia gets a nice 2-strike single with Albers leaving it out over the plate. And Valencia taking it hard up the middle.
Twins pick up just their 4th hit of the ball game. The 2nd by Danny Valencia. Take a look at the pitch. Fastball. Left up. Good solid swing.
Delman Young will hit. Walked with the bases loaded in the first, and then hit a fly ball to right. Now just 2 for 21 against Eric Bedard, and Delman usually does pretty well against left-handed pitching. But Bedard has had his number. Fastball cuts the plate in half. One strike to Young. Valencia, a couple of steals in 6 tries. He and Nishioka are the only 2 base stealers who have been thrown out more often than not. 1-1. Valencia back at the bag.
You know, there's 11 walks so far in this ballgame. 7 by Liriano, 4 by Eric Bedard. And you know what? I just think Tim McClellan's had a very, very tight strike zone. I'm going to go in defense a little about Liriano and also Bedard. Those some pretty good pitches. Even that last pitch right there to Delman Young caught the corner, but it was called a ball.
Delman takes 2-1.
Umpires get graded on the box track, and I wonder after this ball game if Tim McClellan will look at that and see how many balls were right on the corner that were all called balls. Not too many were called strikes.
2-1.
I'll show you that box track on almost every pitch.
Tap foul. Been a handful of strikeouts in the game, but only one called third strike. That was Butera leading off the second inning.
That was pretty good fastball inside. He had plenty of the plate.
Two and two. Right down the middle. Fastball for strike 3. There's a called third strike. Oh, number 2.
Elver's picking up his second strikeout. He struck out Tomey on a high fastball. Here just rearing back and throwing that ball right down the middle of the plate, and Delman knew it.
Here's Nishioka. Nishioka's struck out swinging twice tonight as a right-handed batter against Bedard. Strike 1. Wide of the plate, 1-1. He's trying to get Valencia around from first to score. And now 2-1.
You see how Nishioka reacts on that fastball in, kind of backpedaling. Take a look at this pitch. It throws that two-seamer that comes back in a little bit.
Nishioka on the year, 174 at bats, 37 hits, but only 4 extra base hits. And they are all doubles.
Yep.
That's hit a long way to right center field. Off the wall. It'll be a double for Nishioka that drives in Valencia with the tying run.
I think a lot of people took a little while to get up because I don't think we've seen Nishioka do this. Got a high fastball, And there's an extra base hit, Dick, driving in his 15th run of the year.
He pulls that ball a little bit, and it's out of here.
Nishioka showing off some strength right there. McDonald goes back. He has to play the carom. They get it back in, but it's an RBI double for Nishioka, his 5th double of the year.
So Drew Butera will come up with Nishioka at second and 2 down. It's an awfully big 2-out hit. Butera takes outside a ball, so Albers gives up a rare run. Valencia with a 2-strike single up the middle. And he stood there at first base until Nishioka nearly clubbed one out. One and one. Franklin Morales warming up. Twins will roll the lineup around, starting with Revere, and a lot of left-handed batters do up. 2 and 1. So Albers facing Butera, the number 9 batter, and it might be the last man he's asked to get. Ball missing, and it's 3 and 1.
See, like that pitch right there, you know, again, a pretty close pitch, called a ball. Ben Revere on deck.
Three and 1 to the Twins catcher. Down the middle, 3 and 2. Terra kind of muttering to himself about why he couldn't pull the trigger on a swing there. Fastball right down the middle of the plate. And a walk puts him at first. And we'll see if Terry Francona makes a move here with Ben Revere due up. Albers go after Revere here. 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Revere did hit the ball hard once against Bedard, hitting a one-hop smash right back to his glove.
Veritek taking a little extra time looking in the dugout. What sign in case maybe Nishioka trying to steal, where they'll throw. Butera at first.
Strike one.
See where that pitch was right there, a fastball, same pitch where that 2-1 pitch was to Butera, except a little lower in the strike zone. So the inconsistency of Tim McClellan.
Well, if you're watching it, it drives you crazy. You can imagine what it must be like to be on the mound, not knowing where you can throw it to have it called a strike.
Other than down the middle, and you're going to get hurt that way.
Liriano tried that with McDonald. One and one. And now Albers has thrown 26 pitches, 15 strikes.
It's tough when you have to throw each pitch into a shoebox.
2 and 1. Albers, a assigned the task of getting the Red Sox off the field in this at bat. If Revere reaches, Mauer will hit, and we'll almost certainly have a pitching change there. Two and two. They resume play in Cleveland, tied at 2 in the 5th inning. Right here we're tied at 3. It's the 6th inning. Seems like the 9th, but it's the 6th.
Oh, there's that 2-2 pitch, called a ball. Now the runners will get a little better lead right here.
Nishioka from second.
Yep.
Butera from first. And Revere hasn't offered it a pitch yet. He's taken 5 pitches in this plate appearance. Chopped to short. Should end the inning. Lowry fires across. The inning ends, but Nishioka with his 5th double of the year with 2 out, driving in Valencia for the tying run.
Three apiece. Both starters are gone. Francisco Liriano, he worked the first 6 innings. Gave up 7 walks, 4 strikeouts, but allowed only 4 hits. Matt Capps coming into the ballgame, making his 49th relief appearance. Going to get a 1-2-3 inning here in the 7th.
Matt Capps will face the top of the Boston order. Ellsbury, Pedroia, and Gonzalez. As we are now into the bullpen, Ron Gardenhire saying he really would prefer to not use Glenn Perkins, who threw, it wasn't just the 26 pitches, was it? It was parts of 3 different innings. And it's a little bit different deal when you're asking a pitcher to finish up 1 inning and then he goes in the dugout and cools down and everything, and then comes back, pitches another inning, and then starts the next one. And so they would rather not use Perkins here tonight. Ellsbury takes ball 1, and now Capps will try to pitch to the postage stamped strike zone. That one sails outside, 2-0. Ellsbury 0 for 3, pop to short, strikeout, and a ground ball to first. There's Burt. Two and 1. Fly ball hit right at Ben Revere. 1 down. Grand Casino story of the game.
Twins led 2-0 until McDonald hits a 2-run home run to tie the game at 2 apiece. In the 6th inning, Boston taking a 3-2 lead. Jason Varitek with the RBI single. And then Nishioka, a rare extra base hit so far this year, driving in his 15th run on his 5th double. And the game is tied at 3.
And now that the Twins have tied the game up, let's just spend a moment to ponder the nice play that Delman Young and Tsuyoshi Nishioka combined on to get a very important out at third base. There's no way Young was going to throw out Lowry, and Nishioka was able to make a catch and eventually get the runner between second and third. There's a called strike 1-1. So in an inning where Lowry, Crawford walked, Varitek followed with a hit, only one other batter came up that inning. McDonald struck out, and Liriano gave up just the 1 run.
Right. Well, here's a base hit by Jason Varitek. It looked like Delman was going to go home, but instead went to third, where Nishioka, the shortstop, was covering. And then ran down Crawford for the out, the second out of that inning.
1-2 to Pedroia. 2-2. Fox Tracks brought to you by Carrier. Minus the helmet. Euclid's in the hole. He's not even in the on deck circle, and he's shadow hitting, I guess, in the top step of the dugout. 2-2. Sox have been held so far to 3 singles and the McDonald home run, but 7 walks with 2 of them scoring have led to this 3-3 game. Now it's a full count to Pedroia. Tapper foul. Angels have taken a 6-4 lead on the Yankees in the top of the 9th at Yankee Stadium. And the Yankees started the day a game and a half behind the Red Sox. Full count again to Dustin Pedroia.
Another fastball away.
And the 8th walk issued.
How can a ball be low to him? Third time that Pedroia has walked in the ball game.
To help commemorate the 20th anniversary of the 1991 World Championship, Jack Morris has signed 1,000 baseballs with the inscription "Official Ball of the 1991 World Series." These outstanding collectibles are numbered and also contain other Game 7 information. Each ball costs $91, and a portion of the proceeds benefit the Twins Community Fund. Again, only 1,000 of them available. Visit twinsbaseball.com/1991 to get the details. This one landed to left center field. Gonzalez has a hit. It's going to be cut off nicely by Young, and they'll hold Pedroia. Another good play by Delman Young as he slid to keep that ball from going all the way to the wall. If it gets by him, the Red Sox take the lead.
Yeah, that ball's hit. Jumped on that first pitch by Gonzalez, a double. And Delman Young racing over there and then diving for it, taking up some turf. Ball slashed the other way. Delman Young getting it back in quickly. Nice defensive play by Delman. And Pedroia thinking, I can score, I can score.
The slide allowed him to catch the ball, stop, and pop up in position to make a throw. If he just runs after it and is running away from the infield, Pedroia is going to score.
Right.
So here's Kevin Youkilis, and the Twins have to bring the infield in now. Replace your divots.
If you're on the golf course, you have to do that.
Down and away, ball 1.
Take a look at his slide right there. He's doing everything he can and then pops straight up to get the ball back in as quick as he can.
We'll see if Caps can pitch out of this, and we'll highlight Young's play in left field for keeping this a tie game. Now 2-0.
Well, you have first base open right here. You want to be very careful on this guy. But then you have David Ortiz on deck. So this is where a good club, they complement each other.
They don't let you come up for air, do they?
Dave Magadan, the hitting coach, talking to David Ortiz.
There's a strike on the outside corner. We haven't said that very often.
Youkilis with 76 RBIs on the year. David Ortiz on deck with 74.
Three and one.
We saw Jose Majares warming up earlier. Now it's Phil DeMatre. Luke getting loose. Maybe to face David Ortiz. Big pitch right here.
Missed. They're loaded up. They check at first, but it was a check swing. So now Caps has walked a couple, given up a double. And David Ortiz comes up, who got the big hit last night.
We showed you at the top of the show the big hits that the Boston has put together over the last week. In last night's ball game off of Joe Nathan, there was David Ortiz with a big RBI single. So good clubs, they win late in the ball game, and that's what Boston's been able to do, coming in with a 71-43 win-loss record. Best in the American League. Second to the Philadelphia Phillies in the National League with 75 wins.
So Caps will be taken out here with Butera going to the mound, buying a little time. And a couple of walks, a double. They're loaded up with one out. DeMatre will come in to try to get Ortiz. More in the seventh by Matt Capps. He comes out of the ball game with the bases loaded, and Phil DeMatre will try to get David Ortiz to hit into a double play ball.
Yeah, DeMatre worked in last night's ball game 1/3 of an inning. He started the seventh inning, gave up an infield base hit to Ellsbury, and then the sacrifice bunt by Crawford. Then he walked Gonzalez intentionally. And now facing David Ortiz. Showed you the numbers last night on Ortiz. It doesn't matter if you're a righty or a lefty. David Ortiz having a good season against left-handers as well as right-handers.
And Ortiz tonight walked and hit a couple of ground balls against Francisco Liriano.
You can see hitting .309 against lefties this year.
He mentioned at the outset, hitting .218 against them all last year. So that's been the biggest improvement for him. And Dumatre will try to get him here in a tie game.
How about a double play? Wouldn't that be nice? Ortiz ever hit into a double play?
Oh, I got to believe he has.
Well, he's hit into 18 of them.
Breaking ball over for a strike. There's a little dribbler. They're going to have a play at home. He can't make the play. He tried to pick it up and throw home, and Dumatre came up empty, and Pedroia scores. It's 4-3. Ortiz will get one of the shortest hits he's ever got.
It looked like Dumatre wanted to get that ball and then almost throw on the run, and it's kind of a swinging bunt. He goes over there and tries to barehand it, never got a grip on that baseball. So the swinging bunt right here. And Dumatre. I used to say the pitcher was the best athlete on the field, but I have to take that back.
Well, Dumatre leaves now with Lowry coming up. And the Twins going to make a move for Alex Burnett. So the Red Sox do get Pedroia across the plate. It's 4-3. Last night about through the stretch of bad baseball, guys just aren't making plays. When things are going well, Dumatre probably can handle that ball. Right. It's a force play at home. You don't need to tag the runner. You just get it to the catcher and you got an out.
You know, I mean, you got Pedroia coming down that line too. He's pretty quick, right. So you know it's got to be a bang bang play. So tried to barehand it, didn't get the handle of the baseball, and David Ortiz credited with an infield base hit, driving in a 75th run. Red Sox take a 1-run lead. Alex Burnett coming in, trying to get final 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Bases loaded.
So Burnett will try to get the double play ball. Lowry walked and scored his last time up.
Yeah, Lowry, a switch hitter. He came into this ball game hitting .380 as a right-handed hitter and only .209 as a left-handed hitter. That's why the switch.
Right. Get him turned around to his weaker side in the hopes of getting that ground ball. Mauer's going to play in front of Ortiz. Valencia even with the bag at third. Middle infielders playing at their normal positions. And he fouls it off a leg. 1 strike.
Boy, he looks at, you know, it's a quick runner. Now I got to hurry up that throw. And
1 strike. Pedroia scoring. He's the 3rd Boston Walker to score. Fly ball, very short, left field. Delman Young coming in. Gonzalez doesn't run well, so he's not going to go. And Burnett gets a fly ball out for out number 2.
Well, a big out right there. Keep the game within reach.
That'll bring up Crawford, who has not put a ball in play yet tonight. 2 strikeouts and a walk. And it was Crawford thrown out by Delman Young to Nishioka for a big second out. Last inning. That was just last inning.
Yep.
That seems like yesterday. Up and away, ball 1. Two 2-0 with the bases full.
Crawford's got to look dead red right here. A fastball. Montero won't move much. Good pitch. Good pitch right there by Burnett.
Bouncer to second. Burnett does a nice job getting out of the jam.
Great job right there by Alex Burnett.
Couple of walks, couple of hits, a run for the Red Sox. They retake the lead. Time for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Medica. Right now, you can get 20 crispy chicken McNuggets for just $4.99 at McDonald's. And by CenturyLink. Quest is becoming CenturyLink. Your link begins here. Find out more at CenturyLink.com/link. Again, the Twins trying to come back and tie the Red Sox as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, Franklin Morales, one of the 2 left-handers out in that bullpen. They're still standing straight up. Morales coming over from the Colorado Rockies. He was traded over to Boston back on May 19th for a player to be named later or Cash. It's not Norm Cash.
From which team? See if I can guess which one.
Colorado Rockies.
I'm guessing they took the Cash.
Morales making his 18th appearance as a Boston Red Sox. He made 14 appearances out of the Rockies bullpen.
Well, it'll be Mauer, Kadire, and Kubel. The Twins hope to strike back in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now, the Twins have taken 5 walks, 4 of them in the first inning.
There have been 14 walks so far in this ballgame.
Fastball at the knees, strike one. Mauer singled with the runner going way back in the first inning. That sent Revere to third. Revere and Mauer both scored. Mauer coming in on the bases loaded walk to Young. 1-1.
Hard slider right there. Morales, 25 years old, from Venezuela. Signed by the Rockies back in 2002.
Two 2-0 with that pitch buried knee high on the outside corner.
Between the Rockies and Boston, 15 walks in 30 2/3 innings. For Morales, with 26 strikeouts.
And Mauer drops a base hit in front of Crawford for a single. So the leadoff man is on in the Twin seventh.
You know, when you don't get the pitch called, it looks like it's a strike. All of a sudden, it's 2-1 rather than 1-2, and you have to come in with a pitch. And Mauer sat on that fastball and lined it into left field for a base hit. His second hit of the ball game.
But the pitch was just center cut.
Right.
And you can't blame Morales because he doesn't want to walk Mauer, and he puts it right down the middle. Here's Kadire.
Well, you hope that they hit it at somebody. They did. They hit it right at Crawford, but
on
one
one
hop.
Kadire takes strike one.
Twins need a blast right here.
It's blocked by Varitek. 1-1. The Twins' runs have come on a sacrifice fly, a bases loaded walk, and then Nishioka's 2-out double in the last inning.
I've got a call right here. Michael Kadire, 2-run home run.
Two and one.
Look for the fastball and hit it high and far. Michael.
Foul back. 2-2.
Had a good swing. Dyer leading the Twins with 18 home runs. See the fastball grip. Challenged Michael and fouled it off.
Two and two to Kadire. Full foul over the Boston dugout. Angels beat the Yankees 6-4. So now New York falls 2 games behind Boston, and if the Red Sox win this game, they'll be 2.5 up.
Let's keep it at a game and a half.
Yeah. We mentioned this last night. The Red Sox have already clinched the season series against New York, winning 10 of 12 games.
The American League Eastern Division standings. Go Baltimore.
2 and 2 to Kadire. Pulled behind Steve Little. Kadire checking his bat.
Yeah, last 2 pitches, that slider from Morales.
Kubel, Tomey hoping for a chance here. With the Twins down a run in the 7th. Around his ankles, and it's a full count. What do you do with Mauer here? He doesn't run well. And Kadire does strike out.
Yeah, I mean, you don't send Mauer here. You need Kubel to get up.
Full count to Kadire. Mauer goes, and the pitch hacked into the screen in front of the Twins dugout. My goodness, a rocket. Alex Burnett looks like a boxer on a stool between rounds. Another 3-2 coming to Kadire. Well, they throw over there. Mauer was about 18 inches off the base.
I'll give more credit. He's at least a couple feet. Oh, and Mauer wants to make sure if he is taking off that ball is delivered home. I want to leave too early.
Full count to Kadire.
Get it airborne.
Mauer goes, fouled straight back.
Another good swing.
Four 2-strike fouls. Seems like about 20 minutes ago, Mauer got a base hit. Kadire will get another 3-2 pitch. Mauer checked again. Bouncer to third.
They hooked him.
They started Mauer, so he will gain second base. Kadire retired for the first out.
Kadire had a couple pitches that he could have driven a long way, but finally got that breaking ball, got the ground ball out.
Here's our Pepsi Max in-game box score.
Hits all around. Just no one extra base hit, that being off the bat of Nishioka with the RBI double in the 6th inning. They're tied the game at 3 apiece, but Boston added one in the top of the 7th for a 4-3 lead.
Well, Kubel got a game-tying hit late last night. He'll try to do that again here in the 7th inning with Tomey hitting behind him. Fastball over the inside corner, strike one. Kubel with a walk, a single, and a strikeout so far tonight. Checked his swing, and it's 1-1. It may seem like Morales has thrown 30 pitches, but he's only thrown 16.
Yeah, long battle with Kadire.
Another breaking pitch. 2-1. Three and one. First base open. Tomey on deck.
3 straight breaking balls missed by Morales after getting strike 1 on the fastball.
And a called strike as that came back over the inside corner.
Yeah, good pitch right there. 3-1 breaking ball. Took a little off.
So now 3-2 to Kubel. Delivered a sharp single late in the ball game last night. Liner to center to tie the game. And he takes a called third strike. Another breaking pitch. Strike 2 hit the inside corner, and strike 3 hit the outside corner.
Well, he went right through that breaking ball. Fastball for strike 1, and then he threw him 5 straight breaking balls. And Kubel strikes out. Take a look at this breaking ball right here. Oh, pretty good pitch. It's where it crosses the plate. Even though Veritek looked like he caught it a little bit outside.
Here's Tomey. Veritek wants to talk with Morales. Again, first base is open. And here comes Terry Francona. And they may talk about whether they want to pitch to Tomey at all. Valencia. Oh, they're gonna.
Yeah, I thought he made a motion to the bullpen.
I did not see that. So Daniel Bard is going to come in to pitch to Jim Tomey, a right-hander being brought in to face the lefty. Terry Francona brings flamethrowing right-hander Daniel Bard into the game. You can see the low, extremely low opponent batting average to face Jim Tomey.
Well, you know, sometimes managers play hunches, and right here, you know, you would think Morales would face Jim Tomey, but Terry Francona deciding to bring in Bard. And that's maybe why right there. Both of them not doing very well against Bard. Lefty's hitting 220. Right-handers hitting just 117.
Tomey's faced him 3 times, 0 for 3 with a strikeout, which simply means he's due.
Now look for the fastball, the hard slider.
He Gets there in a hurry.
And there's the fastball missing.
One strike. Back off the glove of the pitcher, and then deflected to Lowry, and Thomey's thrown out to end the inning. Bauer left at second, and the one-run Boston lead is preserved.
Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Well, Alex Burnett got the last 2 outs of the 7th, kept this game within reach, and now Jason Varitek will lead off the 8th. Varitek drove in a run with a single his last time up, walked and scored in the 5th. Took a leadoff walk from Liriano, and then McDonald hit a 2-run home run. Butera wants to take care of it and does.
Yeah, Butera should right there. So a nice play by Butera, getting out from behind home plate. He's got the best angle. Alex Burnett has no chance, really. If he feels this ball, it would have been a very bang play, but Drew makes it an easy play. Little surprise bunt by Varitek, but not pushed out far enough. And Butera, nice defensive play. Ultimate of surprise, I guess. Varitek wanted to push it more toward Danny Valencia. The ball didn't go as far as he wanted.
Well, that'll bring up a pinch hitter for the Red Sox. Josh Reddick is going to hit, and Ron Gardenhire is going to come to the mound. Harris has been warming up. And so Burnett, boy, he couldn't do any better than that. He left the bases full, got 2 big outs in the 7th, got the first out of the 8th. He comes out, and now Maharis will come in.
Yeah, great job by Alex Burnett.
Josh Reddick will hit against Jose Maharis when we come back. Private tours and field trips are all a possibility. Log on to twinsbaseball.com or call 800-33-TWINS. Reserve your Target Field tour this summer. On Saturday, I got here very early, around noon, for a 6 o'clock game. I was in the back room here working, getting stuff done. And I bet you there were 8 tour groups that came through here. Some of them even White Sox fans that paid their money to the Minnesota Twins to see our ballpark. And I laughed and I laughed and I laughed because they don't have a ballpark as nice as this.
Here's Jose Majares coming in relief of Alex Burnett, trying to get the final 2 outs here.
Reddick with a swing and a miss. 1 strike. And a breaking ball down and away.
Reddick, we mentioned last night, getting a chance to play right field with J.D. Drew on a disabled list.
One and 2. Reddick. And Majares strikes him out. 2 down in the 8th.
Well, he got ahead in the count, and that's a good thing for Jose Majares. Another breaking ball. Reddick swinging through it for the 2nd out here in the 8th.
And now Ellsbury, who's 0 for 4. That's notable in and of itself. But the Twins have issued 9 walks, and Ellsbury hasn't taken one of them.
The guy on deck has taken 1/3 of them. That being Dustin Pedroia.
9 walks issued, and 3 of those base runners have come around to score. 2 strikes. Majares to Ellsbury. Little pop-up. Kadair coming in a couple of steps. And a good outing from Majares. He gets the final 2 outs of the 8th inning.
Stay tuned to the rest of this ball game and our post-game show. It's Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink, featuring the Toyota post-game wrap. Walk this way. We're going to talk about all the walks. Twins have issued 9 tonight. Red Sox issued 5, 4 of those coming in the first inning. We'll talk about the pitcher's wildness. Outfield execution is our instructional tonight with Ron Coomer and Bert Blyleven. Talk about good outfield play. Delman Young with a great play to Nishioka at third base to get a crucial out. And
awesome.
Gardy's post-game press conference. Why is it awesome, Bert?
Outfield execution. I can't wait.
You have probably had a few outfielders in your time you wanted to execute.
Yeah, one of them sitting over on my right. The long-haired hippie over there.
Here's Valencia. First pitch fouled back.
Talking about Dan Gladden, not Chris Atterbury. John Gordon, we're hoping that he feels good. He left, was not feeling very good when he came to the ballpark. So, John, if you're watching and listening, get well soon, man.
John's a radio guy. If he's watching, he's got the sound turned down, and he's listening to Chris Atterbury and Dan Gladden. 1 strike to Valencia, leading off the Twins' 8th. And Valencia has his soft line drive caught by Pedroia.
Yeah, Pedroia backpedaled. You know, if you stand right there, he probably doesn't catch it, but he backpedaled nicely and then leaped at the last second to get it. Right off the end of the bat, watch Pedroia go back, and then makes a nice catch. Sound like Chris Berman a little bit there, didn't I? Back.
1 gone, and here's Delman Young.
Oh, he's got a hard slider, doesn't he? Bard with a good fastball, the big sweeping slider.
1 strike to Young. That one taken for strike 2.
Bard, 25 years old. Red Sox #1 pick back in 2006 out of the University of North Carolina, in his 3rd season with the Sox.
.98-mile-per-hour fastball fouled away by Delman Young. So far, Delman's biggest contribution in this game has been defensive of nature. And did draw the bases loaded walk in the first. Twins need a 1-out hit here. And if he wants to hit it over the fence and tie the game, that's fine too. Second time in a row that Young has struck out. 2 down. Nishioka coming to the plate.
Get that nasty slider right there. Picks up a strikeout for Bard.
Fox Sports North honors military members and their families with Operation Home Base, presented by Miller High Life. Give a veteran a piece of the High Life. Join us every Sunday Twins game for special Operation Home Base broadcast. This Sunday we'll bring you stories from the 119th Air Base in Fargo. We'll show your support for the military by logging on to foxsportsnorth.com, clicking the Joining Forces logo, and send your message of thanks. Here's Nishioka, who nearly cranked one out of here. 1 strike.
I bet that's the first time you said that this year.
That he almost cranked one out?
Yeah.
Well, he hit it halfway up. Looked like halfway up in the scoreboard in right center field. And ball 1. 1-1. At the knees, and it's 1-2.
Sometimes it's not always the velocity, it's the location. And that was a pitcher's pitch for Bard right there.
In the dirt, 2-2. Some who think that Bard will be the closer in Boston sooner rather than later. Papelbon can be a free agent. Bard can bring it at times has hit 100 miles per hour. We've seen a pretty wicked breaking pitch. 2-2. That's ball 3, I think. He thought it was ball 4, and Nishioka went to first.
Well, sometimes when a guy throws 100 miles an hour, you wish it was ball 4. There's a fastball right here. Nishioka thinking the count maybe 3-1.
The scoreboard had it 2-2 when the pitch was delivered.
What do you think you're talking about?
Nishioka apparently losing track of the count and hitting a tapper to short. Lowry has it. Just barely getting him at first. So a 1-2-3-8 for Daniel Bard. Nishioka turning in a great play after the deflection off the mound.
Yeah, very nice play. Delman Young, a nice play right there. Nishioka, covering third, and then tagging out Crawford. And then the RBI double right here for Nishioka. Almost beat out the infield last hit to Lowry at short.
Jose Majares will face Dustin Pedroia leading off the ninth. Outside, ball 1. The deciding or a difference-making run batted in once again by David Ortiz on a 35-foot squibber. 2-1.
Now, I was told by Anthony LaPanta, it's not the outfield execution now. We're going to kind of show that what a pitcher has to do to try to do what DeMatre did, and then also have Ron Coomer come in about barehanding the ball, maybe on the run, what you try to do.
Majares bounces off the mound. Better hurry. Strong throw gets him. So instead of outfield execution, infield execution.
They've moved me infield now, yes.
Probably had a few infielders you wanted to execute, too.
Yes, I did. And they wanted to get me, too.
One down. Here's Gonzalez. Gonzalez with a pair of hits and a walk. Twins did get him to bounce into a double play in the third. Ball 1. Tigers and Indians tied at 2, bottom of the 7th. They had a big rain delay in the early innings of that game. Chicago beat Baltimore 4-3, and the Angels beat the Yankees 6-4. 2-0.
Another 2-hit night for Adrian Gonzalez. Came in hitting .350. Currently at .352, leading the American League in hitting. 163 hits. Also the most in the American League.
Gonzalez uncoils, misses, 2-1. Papelbon warming up for what he anticipates will be a save opportunity in the bottom of the 9th. Twins are due to start with Butera, but Span's available. Two and 2 to Gonzalez. Slower breaking ball, gets a swing and a miss, 2 down.
Harris picks up his second strikeout in relief. A good location right here, down in the strike zone. Gonzalez swinging through it.
2 down. Here's Youkilis, 0 for 3 with a walk. One and 0 to Youkilis. Two and 0. Laureano went 6 innings. And Caps issued a couple of walks and a double. Dumatre gave up the scratch single to Ortiz, which is giving the Red Sox their 1-run lead. A strike, 2 and 1. Three and 1. Hits are even at 6 apiece. The Twins have issued too many walks. The Red Sox haven't had a very tidy game in that category either. Three and 2. You, having watched this, can understand why the Boston Yankee games take so long, because every at bat seems like it's life or death. They grind out, the entire lineup does, every at bat, and Youkilis sends one down the line that just hooks enough to go foul. But we've seen the Yankees, we'll see him again later this month, you know, and every hitter in the lineup likes to go deep in the count. If you get a smaller than normal strike zone, it helps explain why the games are so long.
Well, that was a brand new helmet before this ball game for Youkilis. I'd have to say he's probably superstitious. Leave my helmet alone. I like it the way it is. A lot of pine tar on that helmet.
Fly ball right field. Kubel is there. And Maharis has a 1-2-3, top of the 9th. Somebody needs to get a big hit or two for the Twins in the bottom. flat home stand for the Twins with 4 games, 4 losses. The fans here, just about 40,000 paid tonight. Could use a little excitement. Nice 9th inning walk-off inning. If the Twins can put that together, they'll have to do it. If you look at the game reset against Jonathan Papelbon.
Yeah, McDonald with a 2-run home run, that coming in the 5th inning. That tied the game. Liriano, a lot of pitches in 6 innings, but a quality start, even though a career-high 7 walks. And Jonathan Papelbon, who got the save in last night's ball game, his 25th of the year, is looking for a save here in a 4-3 Red Sox lead.
The scheduled hitters are Butera, Revere, and Mauer, but instead of Span hitting for Butera, it'll be Trevor Plouffe. Span is hitless in his last 18 at-bats and has talked about not seeing the ball particularly well. Well, Papelbon isn't the best guy to be having to face if you're not seeing the ball really
I was just looking at the numbers. Papelbon against right-handers. Right-handers are hitting 250, where left-handers are hitting just 191.
Well, there you go. Another reason. So Plouffe hitting here in the 9th, then Revere and Mauer, and the Twins hope a few more. Trying to get aboard in a 1-run game. Up high, ball 1.
Papelbon in last night's ball game had a couple strikeouts in a 1-2-3 bottom of a 9th through 14 pitches, 10 for strikes.
Struck out Valencia Young and got Tolbert on a ground ball, and that was the end of it. 1-0 to Plouffe. That's to short center. Ellsbury coming in, and he makes the catch. 1 down. And Ben Revere will hit with 1 gone.
Papelbon a lot like Bard. You know, I mean, they can get that ball in the 95-97 range. Tight slider, curveball, and a split finger for Jonathan Papelbon.
Revere walked and scored way back in the 1st inning. Since then, 3 ground balls. Squaring the bunt, taking a strike.
Kevin Youkilis, a third baseman, playing in on the grass, taking a bunt away. Maybe Revere can slap it by him.
That is a fair ball, and Revere is out at first on a close play. Ted Barrett called him out on a very close play at first base. Jerry White arguing, but it's out number 2.
Well, I just mentioned that Youkilis was playing in looking for the bunt, and this allowed him. Now, Youkilis had 2 choices. Maybe let this ball go foul or go ahead and get it. See where he's playing right here, the swinging bunt. Youkilis charging the ball and then making a good strong throw on a bang-bang play. Take a look right here.
Yep, good call. Yep. So 2 down and Mauer at the plate. Joe with a pair of singles. And the Twins desperately need a 3rd hit. Strike on the inside corner.
Mauer with 1 home run on the year, that coming in Anaheim. Texas, I'm sorry, yeah, Texas. I knew it was on that last road trip.
Strike 2 on the outside corner.
Fastball in, fastball away. All of a sudden, that pitch that hadn't been called a lot of it during this ball game is called. 6'7", Tim McClellan probably getting tired of bending over.
2 strikes to Mauer. Bouncer to short. And the Red Sox keep rolling, and the Twins keep losing. 6 losses in a row. And Anthony LaPanta, this critical homestand, getting off to a dreadful start for the Twins. They are 0-5.
And have now lost 6 games in a row. We'll show you how control was an issue for both starting pitchers tonight. Our instructional, Bert Blyleven and Ron Coomer will show you how to field the swinging bunt, and we'll hear from Gardy next on Twins Live.
Great play there, buddy.